Hey guys, it's Biddy here, and today I have an overused battle with Kevin, whose link will be in the description. So if you guys want to see more ORAS overused battles, and just battles in general, just leave a like on this video. I really want to get to like 200 likes, a pretty good like goal. And I feature, look at this, I could have any one of like, what, 4 different megas on this team, so I guess you guys will find out which one I'm using. And as opposed to his, he technically only has 2 potential ones, but you're going to see the power of some megas in this video, and it's pretty fun. So, I'm going to end up leading off, in my case, I'm pretty sure I lead off with Gallade because I figured a lot of his team really doesn't want to take fighting type attacks. So I figured if he let off on anything like Weavile, I could counter it, because Weavile would probably be my biggest issue, given the fact that I decided to carry a nice hefty ice weakness on my team. However, I really don't like the matchup against Scizor, so I decided to switch out into my Landorus, predicting the U-turn, and that way I can also get an Intimidate off, and while I get an Intimidate off, his U-turn is practically going to do nothing to my Landorus. And depending on what he goes into, maybe, just maybe, I can set up Stealth Rocks. However, when he switches out, he ends up going into Weavile, in which case, Weavile is the biggest problem for my team right now, and I cannot handle a Weavile at all. So, I'm going to have to switch out. He predicts that and goes for the Pursuit, but I just simply could not risk staying in and losing Landorus this early on, especially with the use of Intimidate. So I figured my best bet against this thing, predicting the ice move, was Rotom, but now he goes for a Night Slash, and thankfully I land a Will-O-Wisp, and that literally makes my day right now, because I know that dealing with this Weavile has gotten a ton easier. So now he ends up withdrawing. I just ended up staying in and going for the Hydro Pump, figuring let's get as much damage on this thing as I can because I really need to take it out. He was predicting me to go for the Volt Switch instead, so Nidoking comes in and Nidoking dies. So Nidoking no longer an issue, and Rotom proving to be very, very useful on my team right now. So I'm going to go, well, I'm going to stay in. He goes into Scizor, and I really don't see Scizor as a threat, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to Will-O-Wisp. However, it just totally slipped my mind that he carried a Heatran and he got the Flash Fire boost. However, he really can't do much with this Flash Fire boost unless he carried something that, well, literally can't even do anything. Even with the boosted fire type attacks, because I'm resisted, it's really not going to do a lot. So he decides to switch out, expecting my Hydro Pump, and goes into Slowbro. So this little event, this little couple moments of switching, I guess, really eventually paid off, because he really had trouble dealing with Rotom, but he wanted to just get some things in safely, I suppose, and try and preserve others. All started with Weavile and kind of went downhill from there, but I ended up Volt Switching here because I just want to get as much damage on the Slowking as possible. Slowking is a nuisance, and now I figure I'm going to go into Latios, expecting either the Scald or the Psychic type attack, and that way my Latios can take it just fine, and I do, but he gets the burn. I don't really like it, but I mean, it could be worse. It could be on a physical attacker, in which case I would have just hated it completely. So I decided to just go for a Thunderbolt, which in this case, it definitely mattered that I got the critical hit, especially because none of our Pokemon are carrying items in this game. We're still trying to get through the in-game stuff and get some items, so normally we would have items, but in this case we're playing without items. So here he goes into Pidgeot, why can't I even think of his name? Yeah, Pidgeot. And I decided to go into Landorus, but it turns out that Pidgeot, I apologize, Pidgeot is his Mega, and in this case he ends up going for the Protect. I knew the Protect was coming because he wants to get the speed boost, so I figured at least I could threaten him out with Landorus' Stone Edges and he's not going to want to attack me, and instead he goes into Weavile. But as he switches out, I'm just like, I'm going to set up Stealth Rock. I know it's late game, but at least Stealth Rock will be useful for when Pidgeot comes back in later on. And he goes into Weavile here, in which case I'm also not too scared of it because it's burned. Granted, I am weak to Ice Shard by a lot. I'm not that terrified of it, and I'm able to U-turn out, and I'm going to be able to take him out here after burn damage takes its toll. So the biggest threat to my team is gone, and I'm feeling pretty confident here because, I mean, Weavile's gone, and I feel like I could do major work with Gallade, but the only thing that's standing in my way is that Mega Pidgeot, and I actually have to get rid of that thing first before I can do anything with Mega Gallade, because Mega Pidgeot ends up naturally outspeeding Gallade, after it Mega Evolves. So even if I Mega Evolved, it wouldn't be enough for me to outspeed the Pidgeot, and that's the main problem in this scenario. So as Pidgeot comes out, I figure I'm going to go into Landorus to sack off Landorus. Intimidate is totally useless since Pidgeot is a special attacker, and his Hurricanes are obviously always going to hit because he's got no guards. So, I mean, Pidgeot not as terrible as we were all expecting it to be, at least showcasing that here. So here I figured I can go into my Landorus. I thought that maybe, somehow, I would end up at least living a Hurricane, and you would be surprised, but that Hurricane killed me. That Hurricane killed me, and Latios ends up going away, so I couldn't really get off a Thunderbolt. So here I figure, alright, Rotom. Rotom, you can do something. But no, he runs a Hyper Beam, it gets stabbed, it doesn't miss, and that is going to take out my Rotom. This Rotom is EV'd, guys, it's not EV'd, so that just plain took out Rotom. But here I thought, okay, since I get a turn, I basically get a free turn here as he needs to recharge. I forgot, I ran out the timer here. I was going to Ice Punch, but I ran out the timer, so it hit the first default thing, the first default attack I had. So now I really have to switch out. I have to switch out because I know that Pidgeot is going to outspeed me, so I sacked off my Sceptile here, and I kind of got to, you know, I kind of gotta try and come back from this because I ran out the timer, which is totally my fault. I just wasn't paying attention. And now I figure I'm gonna go into Salamence. Salamence will get intimidated off. Salamence would also potentially live an attack as he goes for Hyper Beam again, and he's gonna put himself in the position to have to recharge again, and I'll try and take advantage of that. Now Salamence does die. Well, he dies after the Double Edge. Now you can see obviously without the Aerial Light Boost, Double Edge doesn't even kill. So this was supposed to be like a Salamence that would be Mega, but it's not Mega in this case because I was running a different Mega on my team. So now, because Gallade is my last Pokemon, I'm really going to be relying on it hardcore to try and come back from the mistake I made beforehand. So I'm going to end up Mega Evolving. I know he needs to recharge, so that's going to be enough for me to take him out with an Ice Punch. And now it really comes down to the last two Pokemon on his team, which is going to be a Scizor and a Heatran. Heatran's not going to want to come in because he's going to die to a close combat. However, it might have actually been in his best interest to do that and force me into the close combat, because I know I cannot close combat a Scizor and take him out in one hit. So I knew I would have to, in this case, go for the Swords Dance, and luckily his Bullet Punch does enough to where I can still Swords Dance, and then once he Bullet Punches me again, I can still manage to live, barring any critical hits, and take him out with a close combat. And because of that now, when he comes in with Heatran as well, there's no way Heatran is going to live that. So that is going to be the end of the match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like on this video, and I'm going to have many more ORAS battles and potentially have a stream coming up. I really want to stream these battles as well, and I really hope you guys enjoy this. Just let me know. Feedback is appreciated, and what Megas do you want to see me use in the next Wi-Fi video? Just write that in the comments down below, and I will try and get the most requested Mega up next battle. And as always, have a wonderful day, and bye.